Hello, my YouTube friends. This is Richard, founder of ShortTermRentalSecrets.com and Airbnb Superhost. Welcome back to this week's Motivational Monday. As you can see in the title, this week's episode is all about entrepreneurship. And that's a beautiful thing, but it's also a challenging one. There is no blueprint. I can't tell you exactly what to do or how to do it or when to do it. This was prompted by somebody in our Facebook group who had a really great comment, which was like, I love what I'm doing as an Airbnb host. I've got one unit. I want to scale up. How do I do it? And the reality of it is don't think of yourself as a host. We spend a lot of time and energy on this channel talking about hosting and hospitality, and I think that's wonderful and is the best place to go, in my opinion, on the internet to get that sort of education. But we don't spend enough time talking about entrepreneurship, and so this point of this week is to talk a little bit about it. And it basically comes down to you have to make it happen. I don't know how you do it. I don't know, what you're capable of doing. You should save as much money as you can, take a second job if needed, freelance, be opportunistic, make good investments. Just realize that once you start to view yourself as an entrepreneur and not as an employee plus host, you start to view yourself as more like somebody who takes risks, somebody who thinks outside the box, somebody who's innovative and creative. You're going to start to view the world a little bit differently, and it takes a little bit of time. It's not exactly like easy and straightforward. It can be nerve-wracking. A lot of your friends and your family won't understand it, but therein lies the opportunity, and you just have to make it happen. So what does that mean for me? For those of you that have been watching me on Instagram at I'm Richard Fertig, I learned a little bit about Bitcoin earlier this summer. I saw it being used in Indonesia when I was there in Bali. I did some research, I did a lot of diligence, and then I put my money where my mouth was and I started to make an investment in it, small, and then I scaled up, and I was on my Instagram account once and I said, I just bought the all-time high. And I didn't regret it at all. I understood that I was buying it. I just think it has a very bright future. And by the way, as I record this today, September 15th, 2017, we've had almost a 50% correction, and my conviction isn't dampened at all. I think it's still great, but that's what makes me an entrepreneur. That's what makes me a trader. Am I right or wrong? Time will tell. It's on the record. It's here. It's transparent. I'm also in the process of buying a personal car. It's a vintage car. It's kind of collectible, and it got me thinking, well, gee, if there's a limited supply and demand is going up, maybe it's a good investment. And so now I'm thinking about buying a car as an investment. That's what you start to do when you think of yourself as an entrepreneur. And yes, it takes a little bit of capital, but I made it all, and so too can you. And you just have to figure out what it is that you can do to make even more money and that you can save it 100% of the time. And so think about doing things in and around Airbnb, which you're already doing. Think about co-hosting. Think about doing rent to rent, so you sign a lease on a property that's legal so that you can do it repeatedly and sustained. And create more opportunity and save all that money. And then what I really recommend with those savings is to invest it in your future and something that builds equity. Real estate is a great vehicle. I do that personally. I continue to believe in the real estate market. But the main thing is you're not a host. You're an entrepreneur. You might be small and starting off now, but the opportunity a year from now, 5 years now, 10 years from now is for you to take control and charge of your future, and you own it. So I'd love to hear your comments, your feedback, your struggles, your ideas. We're a big community here. Go ahead and leave a comment below and share with us your thoughts on how we can all be better entrepreneurs and make more money, or side gigs, or ways to grow our Airbnb hosting business, because that's really the opportunity. It's a great time right now to get started. It's a great time to grow. There's a lot of disruption, which means there's a lot of opportunity, but you can't think small. You have to step back, stop looking at all the problems and the trees, and let's look at the forest and see the opportunities. I hope you like this video. Share it with anybody that you think would be interested, whether they're hosting now or they're not hosting, they're new to hosting. Doesn't really matter. The point is there's a lot of opportunity. We should all be thinking of ourselves as entrepreneurs. I know I do now. It took me a while. I wish I had watched a video like this to help me think about it a little bit more clearly. Probably would have saved me a couple of years and helped me make some great investments. So I hope you found this helpful. Like the video, please. And if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do so. It's just that little button. Just click it.